everyone, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, hi, my name is Nicole and I'm a part-time reseller on Poshmark, and today we are going to talk about reselling hacks that you definitely need to try for your reselling business. These are things that I have tried and tested over the years, and I know that they all work really, really well and will actually help you have a lot more success on any reselling platform that you're on. So if this is something that is interesting to you, definitely keep watching and make sure that you're subscribed for more reselling content. I do reselling content every single week, so I'd love to have you stick around for more. But without further ado, let's get right into the video. Okay, so the first hack that I love and can't recommend doing enough is using Goo Gone. Using Goo Gone will help you solve so many problems. So if you get an item from the thrift store and it has like a sticky Goodwill tag on it, or it has other labels on it, or it has like a sticky substance on the bottom, or even if it has like permanent marker or Sharpie or something like that, like a lot of the times Goodwills will actually like number their items on the bottom, with the price or whatever, but they'll write it in Sharpie and it'll kind of ruin the item. So simple solution to this is using Goo Gone. Goo Gone will get rid of any of that sticky substance from the shoe. It'll get rid of the tag. It will also get rid of that permanent marker or Sharpie. So it works like a charm. You just put a little bit of the Goo Gone, it's like an oil-based substance, and it just removes it quickly and easily, and it does not leave a mark. It doesn't destroy the item. Obviously, you don't want to be using this on, leathers or velvet materials or anything like that, but on like the soles of the shoes, it works so well, and it has saved me so many times because I used to just think, okay, well, I'll just scribble it out and color over it with like a black pen, but I realized that kind of actually ruins the shoe even more. So if you could just get rid of it completely, it will go such a long way. And another reselling hack that goes along with that one is to actually use a magic eraser. So a magic eraser is like this white sponge that's kind of just like soapy, and you activate it using water, and it will actually clean the bottom of any surface, like of your shoes or even handbags and stuff like that. So I find that this works so well to clean my shoes, and you can actually end up listing the item so much higher if you do this. So I can't recommend enough just to give those shoes a little bit of cleaning. And you could even do this like if you have like Converse or like sneakers that have rubber on the outside, you could use that magic eraser on the rubber and it will bring the rubber back to life. It'll make it really white and crisp, and it will just really elevate the item a lot more. So if you find a really good pair of shoes or anything like that in the thrift store and they're just kind of scratched up a little bit on the bottom, or they have like dirt scuffs on them, use a magic eraser. It will go such a long way, and it will actually make the item a lot more sellable. And I've actually done this so many times, and it just makes the item so much more appealing to those that are buying it. And it's so quick and easy. The magic eraser gets it off in like seconds. So I can't recommend it enough. And the next hack for a great product to use is actually using Amodex. Amodex is a great stain remover. Actually, it's really good for ink stains. So if you sell purses, because I know I actually sell a lot of purses, and a lot of the times I get a purse in the thrift store and I find that it actually has a huge ink stain in the bottom of it. Or I've actually been donated a bunch of purses over the years that had a lot of ink stains in them. And I at first was kind of like concerned because I was like, I don't want to sell this purse with a giant ink stain in it. But the solution to that is just using Amodex. Amodex is like a solution that is meant to use for ink stains, and it gets ink stains out of anything. I've actually found that it works on other kind of stains as well, but it's really good for those ink stains. So if you sell handbags, I definitely recommend using Amodex to get any ink stains out, because again, it just makes the purse so much more sellable and so much more appealing to the customer. And it works really quickly and easily. I'd be careful what surface you're using it on, because it might not be good for certain really high-end designer pieces. But you could test a small spot of the item and see how the item reacts to it. And if it doesn't really cause a, reaction or stain or anything like that, you can use it, in a more widespread area. But I really recommend using Amodex because it'll bring the item back to life. The next reselling hack that I swear by and find to be the most important thing that you can do is use a fabric shaver on leggings, sweaters, anything like that that gets pilling on it. A lot of the times I will see people list things that say like, oh, this has a lot of pilling on it. And to me, honestly, I wouldn't want to buy something that had a lot of pilling on it, because why would I want to buy something where I'm going to have to do the work for it, especially if I'm a buyer? So for me, I would rather buy something that has already been cleaned, or maybe I wouldn't have even known it needed to be cleaned. So a fabric shaver goes such a long way. It works instantly, and it really does make such a big difference on the item. It's especially good on leggings, because we all know that leggings get pilling over time. And this happens to really high-end leggings, and it happens to cheaper leggings. I actually find that this works sometimes on sweaters too. If the sweater, has some snags or something, you could always use the fabric shaver on it. Just go over an item real quick with a fabric shaver, or if it has a lot of pilling, definitely try to clean the item before you list it, and you will notice that it actually helps you sell the item so much quicker. And then you could also don't have to discount the item as much if you use a fabric shaver. So I highly recommend just doing it. It works really quickly and it's super easy to do. And a fabric shaver is not expensive at all. It's like a couple dollars on Amazon. And so it's not like it's like a huge investment to do, but it just makes your life that much easier. This next one I want to talk about, I actually don't do myself, but I've seen people do it, and I think it would actually be a really good tool to have if you ever came across this problem. So if you've ever had an item that was new with tag, but somehow the tag got ripped off, but you still have the tag, or say you had to cut it off, for whatever reason. So what they do is they will actually take the tag off and then use a tag gun to kind of replace the tag. It doesn't really damage the item at all. It's kind of like, what a store would use to put on a tag for the item. So if you have the original tag that is not damaged, you could thread through a new piece of plastic with a tag gun, and it will actually make the item brand new again with the tag. So I only really recommend doing this in a pinch if you really need to, especially if you have the tag for an item and it just fell off, along the way, and you're afraid you're gonna lose it or something like that. You could use this tag gun, and it will actually really help you solve the problem of, having the tag not being on the item. And the final thing I want to talk about in this video that is such a great hack that I started doing in recent months, and I've found that it actually helps so much. If you sell a lot of shoes on, any of the reselling platforms that you're on, I highly recommend getting like feet mannequin. They're like these clear plastic inserts that go in shoes that basically simulate what an actual foot would be like in that shoe. So it just makes the shoe a lot more, appealing to see, because people could see how this shoe is styled. And I find that this is really helpful, especially for like sandals and things like that, where it has like a lot of straps going on and it kind of doesn't sit right if there's nothing inside of the shoe. So if you have these feet mannequin, it'll actually show how the item is supposed to be displayed, and it will look so much more appealing, especially if the item has like a strappy detail that wraps around the ankle or anything like that. You could really show how that works and fits if you have these feet mannequin. And like I said, with the fabric shaver, it's really cheap on Amazon. They're like, it's, a couple dollars, and you reuse them over time. I use them for all my listings, and I just find that it really makes the item so much more appealing and really just adds so much to the item when you're listing it. So if you don't already have these feet mannequin, I highly recommend it, and you will notice that it really helps you style the item so much better than it would have before. So that is a wrap on the reselling hacks that I wanted to talk about this week. I hope that these are helpful things that you can take to your reselling business that will help you have a lot more success. If you want to see how you can get consistent sales on Poshmark, you could click right here. And if you want to see some more secret features that are really great that you should be using on Poshmark, you could click right here. But until next time, I will see you then.